Up next is Advocating for Animals in the Age of AI, presented by Ayanna Hubert.
I would like you all to close your eyes and imagine you're in a cage, 4 feet by 6 feet, and all you see are people staring at you, coming in and coming out. It's noisy and frightening in the shelter. You're squished up against other animals with just a little bit of light coming from the outside. This cold, restricted space has been your home for the past several months. You remember, right, that the third week in, you had lost all emotion. Now, I want you all to open your eyes. This is the reality of shelter nowadays. Over 6.3 million companion animals enter shelters each year. Of that, almost 50% were strays and 30% were abandoned by their owners. These animals can stay up to many years in shelters, and sadly, more and more animals enter than get adopted or fostered. But what if we could change the dynamics? How? What if we could predict human behaviors and better still control them to make impacts that can make a huge impact on reducing the number of animals left in shelters each year? Today I will share with you my research, which consisted from looking at animals in shelters to the challenges faced. Additionally, I will share with you how artificial intelligence could possibly make a difference. But to truly understand the dynamics of the shelter, let me take you on a journey where I first began by visiting some local shelters, like St. Hubert's Animal Welfare Center. When I first entered the doors, I couldn't wait to get my paws on these furry friends. I thought I'd be greeted full of colorful walls and rainbows, and that my time here would change the world for these animals. I was optimistic and yet possibly a little bit naive. I had the privilege of interviewing Ms. Pochiak, the humane educator at the site, and hearing her share the valuable insights into the daily operations, and most importantly, the challenges faced. Challenges like the constant need for adoptive homes, and overpopulation being a persistent issue. These challenges seemed so overwhelming, and made me realize that it would take more than just me and a few and-loving devoted volunteers to change the world for these animals. When I was exiting the shelter, I felt a pit in my stomach. Even though it made me feel good that I volunteered, I didn't feel like I made much of a difference. However, having the chance to speak with Ms. Pochiak made me realize that to make a difference, I had to tell others, like I am with you all today. My next interview was with Ms. Elda Lambert, who has supported animal shelters by conducting animal care presentations in low-income areas for her surrounding communities. Her responsibilities included socializing with cats and dogs, and making sure that her community was educated in the basics of pet care. She explained to me that a typical day for her was rescuing cats and dogs, and sometimes even the involvement of animal patrol officers in the case of abandoned animals. What I did not realize, though, is that they are brought to closed-admission shelters, which only accept animals with specific requirements, compared to regular shelters, which will accept any type of animal. Imagine, this poor animal who just needs a roof over their head has been neglected and turned away. Let me tell you, you need to be thick-skinned to turn away an animal. So that is why there is a huge need for people to foster and adopt. However, even if they are brought to closed-admission shelters, they are faced with overcrowdment, especially in large shelters like Newark. Managing so many animals can be complicated due to the high financial costs, which is why they heavily rely on fundraisers, donations, and grants, which aren't always easy to acquire. So, with all this information in hand, I began to think, well, what can I do that is innovative and different? Artificial intelligence is a field of computer science focused on creating machines that perform tasks typically requiring human intelligence. This is where I began to think, well, AI could be a game changer in animal shelters. One way AI can help is by enhancing reach to potential adopters and fosters. For example, AI can take messy, handwritten notes and turn them into clean text profiles, which can then generate accurate and engaging bios for awaiting adopters and fosters. So, how about this? A user-friendly app that can target and reach potential adopters and fosters through personalized and efficient campaigns. This technology can help assist in understanding what attracts certain adopters to fosters, which can then provide valuable insights into increasing adoption rates. Therefore, artificial intelligence can help animal shelters make sure that potential adopters are the right fit for certain animals, creating it as a preventative tool when it comes to adopting a pet. Additionally, AI can track vaccination timelines, intake and outtake schedules, the length of stay, and even automated feedback based on the animal's behaviors in shelters. Therefore, AI is a valuable tool that can bring innovation and better outcomes, overall making it a win-win situation. It has potential to make a difference if it's put in the right way, the right time, and in the right place. So, to conclude, here's how you can become an animal advocate. Volunteer, donate to your local shelters, support animal rights groups, and of course, adopt and foster. Be compassionate and empathetic. Animals big or small need legal protection to prevent against animal cruelty. Be aware, know how to source animal cruelty, and source neighborhood watch groups and organizations to participate and volunteer. Learn about AI. Pitch the ideas to others. Communicate and convince others it is a valuable tool in animal shelters. Now, I want you all to close your eyes once more and imagine that this animal is safe, being loved at this very moment. Be an animal advocate today and start making those positive vibes. Thank you.